Few lands in the world can rival the historical richness of Turkey. Positioned at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, it has served as a bridge between East and West for millennia. This unique location has shaped Turkey's destiny, making it a melting pot of cultures and empires. From the dawn of civilization to the modern era, Anatolia, the Asian portion of Turkey, has witnessed the rise and fall of some of history's most significant powers. These ancient echoes still resonate in the country's vibrant culture and captivating archaeological sites. The story of Turkey is a tapestry woven from threads of conquest, innovation, and cultural exchange. It's a story of powerful empires, groundbreaking inventions, and the enduring legacy of civilizations past. In this epic tale, we journey back to the dawn of history, exploring the defining eras that have shaped this remarkable land. Buckle up as we delve into the epic history of Turkey, starting with the very cradle of civilization. The story of civilization in Anatolia begins long before recorded history. Archaeological evidence reveals that humans thrived in this region as early as the Paleolithic era. But it was during the Neolithic period, around 9000 BCE, that Anatolia witnessed a pivotal shift, the rise of settled agriculture. This revolutionary development led to the establishment of permanent villages, laying the foundation for complex societies to emerge. One such settlement, Çatalhöyük, stands as a testament to the ingenuity of these early Anatolians. Dating back to 7500 BCE, Çatalhöyük was a bustling hub of activity. Its densely packed mud brick houses, interconnected by rooftops, suggest a sophisticated social structure and a remarkable level of architectural planning. The inhabitants of Çatalhöyük were skilled artisans, farmers, and traders. They left behind intricate murals, sculptures, and pottery, providing us with invaluable insights into their beliefs, rituals, and daily lives. The legacy of Çatalhöyük and other early Anatolian settlements is profound. They represent a crucial step in human development, the transition from nomadic hunter-gatherers to settled agriculturalists. This transformation paved the way for the rise of cities, specialized labor, and ultimately the birth of civilization as we know it. The echoes of this ancient past continue to resonate across Anatolia, reminding us of the ingenuity and resilience of our early ancestors. As we move further into the Bronze Age, a new power emerges on the Anatolian stage, the Hittites. This formidable empire, centered in Hattusa, modern-day Boğazkale, would dominate Anatolia and exert its influence across the Near East for centuries. The Hittites were renowned for their military prowess, particularly their mastery of chariot warfare. These horse-drawn vehicles, driven by skilled warriors and armed with deadly weapons, gave the Hittites a decisive edge in battle. But the Hittites were more than just fierce warriors. They were also skilled administrators and lawmakers. Their legal code, one of the most advanced of its time, emphasized restitution over harsh punishments. It offered a surprising degree of protection for women and the less powerful, reflecting a relatively humane approach to justice for the era. The Hittites' diplomatic skills were equally impressive. They established complex alliances and treaties with neighboring kingdoms, securing their position as a major power in the region. One event that cemented the Hittites' place in history was the epic Battle of Kadesh, fought around 1274 BCE. This clash with the Egyptian Empire, then ruled by the legendary Ramses II, was one of the largest and most consequential battles of the ancient world. Although the outcome of the battle was a stalemate, it demonstrated the Hittites' military strength and their ability to challenge even the mightiest of empires. The legacy of the Hittites, with their chariots, laws, and epic battles, continues to fascinate historians and archaeologists today. Anatolia, a land bridge between Europe and Asia, boasts a history as rich and layered as the fertile soil that blankets its plains. This region, with its diverse landscapes ranging from rugged mountains to fertile valleys, has been a melting pot of cultures and civilizations for thousands of years. Its strategic location has made it a focal point for trade, migration, and conquest, serving as a bridge not just between continents, but between epochs of human history. For millennia, this strategic peninsula, today known as Turkey, has been a coveted prize, attracting the ambitions of empires and witnessing the rise and fall of civilizations. From the earliest human settlements to the grand empires that spanned continents, Anatolia has been at the heart of it all. Its cities and towns have seen the march of armies, the rise of great leaders, and the blending of myriad cultures. The Hittites, with their advanced metalworking, established a powerful kingdom here in the Bronze Age. Their innovations in iron smelting and chariot warfare set them apart as one of the dominant powers of their time. The remnants of their cities and fortresses still stand as a testament to their engineering prowess and military might. The Phrygians, known for their legendary King Midas, left their mark on the region's cultural tapestry. Their myths and legends, particularly the tale of Midas and his golden touch, have endured through the ages, influencing literature and art far beyond their borders. The archaeological finds from their era reveal a society rich in art and craftsmanship. The Lydians, credited with inventing coinage, ushered in a new era of trade and prosperity. Their innovation in creating standardized currency revolutionized commerce, making trade more efficient and far-reaching. The wealth generated from their trade networks helped to build magnificent cities and fostered a culture of opulence and sophistication. The Persians, under Cyrus the Great, incorporated Anatolia into their vast empire, connecting it to the distant reaches of the East. This integration brought about a fusion of cultures, ideas, and technologies, enriching the region's heritage. The Persian influence can still be seen in the art, architecture, and administrative practices that were adopted and adapted by subsequent empires. Each of these civilizations left an indelible mark on Anatolia, shaping its identity and paving the way for the arrival of a new power on the world stage, Rome. The layers of history built upon each other, creating a rich tapestry of human achievement and cultural exchange. The legacy of these ancient peoples set the stage for the transformative impact of Roman rule. From its humble beginnings as a city-state in Italy, Rome embarked on a remarkable journey of expansion, conquering and assimilating diverse peoples and cultures into its ever-growing domain. The Roman Republic, and later the Empire, was characterized by its military prowess, administrative efficiency, and cultural adaptability. These qualities enabled Rome to extend its influence far and wide. By the 2nd century BC, Rome's gaze had turned eastward, drawn by the allure of Anatolia's riches and its strategic importance as a gateway to the east. The region's wealth in resources, its established trade routes, and its cultural significance made it a prime target for Roman expansion. The incorporation of Anatolia into the Roman sphere marked a new chapter in the region's storied history. The stage was set for a momentous encounter, one that would profoundly shape the destiny of both Rome and Anatolia. This convergence of civilizations would lead to a blending of traditions, innovations, and ideas, leaving a lasting legacy that continues to influence the world today. The Roman Republic, forged in the crucible of constant warfare, possessed a military machine of unparalleled efficiency and discipline. Roman legions, with their standardized equipment and unwavering commitment to duty, marched across Europe and North Africa, expanding the Republic's frontiers and bringing new lands under Roman rule. However, Rome's rise to power was not solely due to its military might. The Romans were also skilled diplomats and administrators, adept at forging alliances, negotiating treaties, and integrating conquered peoples into their expanding state. In Anatolia, the Romans encountered a patchwork of kingdoms and city-states, many already weakened by internal strife or Persian domination. Rather than engaging in wholesale conquest, the Romans often preferred a more subtle approach, exploiting existing rivalries, offering protection in exchange for allegiance, and gradually extending their influence over the region. The Roman general Pompey the Great played a pivotal role in bringing Anatolia under Roman control. Through a combination of military campaigns and shrewd diplomacy, Pompey defeated Mithridates VI, the powerful king of Pontus, who had posed a significant threat to Roman interests in the east. With Mithridates vanquished, Rome established its dominance over Anatolia, transforming it into a vital province of the Roman Republic. Once Anatolia became part of the Roman world, a process of Romanization began as the Romans sought to integrate the region into their vast empire. This integration was not just political, but also cultural and social, aiming to create a cohesive and unified territory under Roman control. This involved the construction of roads, which were essential for maintaining the vast expanse of the empire. These roads were meticulously planned and built to last, showcasing the engineering prowess of the Romans. The establishment of new cities, which served as administrative and cultural hubs. These cities were designed with a grid layout featuring forums, amphitheaters, and public baths, reflecting the Roman way of life. The spread of Roman law and administration, which brought a new level of organization and governance to the region. Roman law was codified and applied uniformly, ensuring justice and order throughout Anatolia, and the introduction of Roman culture and customs. This included Roman art, literature, and daily practices, which gradually blended with local traditions, creating a unique cultural tapestry. Roman engineers, renowned for their skill and ingenuity, embarked on ambitious infrastructure projects, building a network of paved roads that crisscrossed Anatolia, connecting its cities and towns to the rest of the Roman world. These roads were not only vital for military movements, but also for trade and communication. These roads facilitated trade, communication, and the movement of troops, transforming Anatolia's economic and military landscape. Markets thrived, and goods from across the empire flowed into Anatolia, enriching its economy. Roman architects and urban planners reshaped Anatolian cities, constructing grand public buildings such as temples, bathhouses, and theaters that reflected the splendor and sophistication of Roman civilization. These structures became centers of social and cultural life, where citizens gathered for various activities. Ephesus, Pergamum, and Aphrodisias flourished as major urban centers, attracting merchants, artisans, and scholars from across the empire. These cities became melting pots of ideas and cultures, contributing to the intellectual and artistic growth of the region. Latin, the language of Roman administration and law, gained prominence in Anatolia, particularly in urban areas, coexisting with Greek, which remained widely spoken. This bilingual environment facilitated communication and administration across the diverse population. Roman law, with its emphasis on order, justice, and the rule of law, replaced the diverse legal systems that had previously existed in Anatolia, contributing to the stability and prosperity of the region under Roman rule. This legal uniformity helped in maintaining peace and fostering economic growth, making Anatolia a vital part of the Roman Empire. As the Roman Empire expanded, so too did the reach of a new religion that emerged from the eastern provinces of the empire, Christianity. Originating in the Roman province of Judea, Christianity spread rapidly throughout the empire, carried by merchants, travelers, and missionaries who shared the teachings of Jesus of Nazareth. Anatolia, situated at the crossroads of trade routes and cultural exchange, proved fertile ground for the nascent Christian faith. St. Paul, a Jewish convert to Christianity from the city of Tarsus in Anatolia, played a pivotal role in the spread of Christianity. Paul's missionary journeys took him across Anatolia and into Greece, where he established Christian communities and preached the gospel to both Jews and Gentiles. Paul's letters, written to these early Christian communities, became part of the New Testament, forming a cornerstone of Christian theology and inspiring generations of believers. Christianity offered a message of hope, salvation, and universal love, appealing to people from all walks of life, regardless of their social status, ethnicity, or gender. In an empire marked by social inequality and widespread poverty, Christianity's message of equality and compassion resonated with the marginalized and the dispossessed, offering them solace and a sense of community. The rise of Christianity in Anatolia had a profound impact on the region's religious landscape. This transformation was not just a simple change of faith, but a complex and multifaceted process that reshaped the cultural and social fabric of the region. As more and more people converted to Christianity, the traditional pagan temples, once bustling centers of worship, gradually fell into disuse. These temples, which had been the heart of community life, became silent relics of a bygone era. The Roman Empire, initially tolerant of Christianity, eventually embraced it as its official religion under Emperor Theodosius I in 380 AD. This imperial endorsement was a significant milestone that accelerated the spread of Christianity across the empire. This marked a turning point in the history of Anatolia, as Christianity became the dominant religion and paganism was suppressed. The shift was not merely religious but also political and cultural, influencing every aspect of life. Many pagan temples, with their impressive architecture and prominent locations, were transformed into Christian churches. This repurposing of sacred spaces was a powerful symbol of the new religious order. Statues of pagan gods and goddesses were removed or replaced with Christian icons, reflecting the new theological and spiritual priorities of the time. And the interior spaces were adapted to Christian liturgical practices. These changes were not just physical, but also symbolic, representing the triumph of Christianity over the old pagan ways. This transformation of sacred spaces reflected the changing religious beliefs of the time and the triumph of Christianity over the old pagan ways. The new Christian practices and rituals began to dominate the religious landscape. The Temple of Artemis at Ephesus, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, was eventually abandoned and fell into ruin, symbolizing the decline of paganism. While the nearby Church of Mary, built by early Christians, flourished as a center of pilgrimage and veneration. This church became a beacon of the new faith, attracting believers from far and wide. The conversion of pagan temples into Christian churches symbolized the profound religious and cultural shift that was taking place in Anatolia during the late Roman period. This era marked the beginning of a new chapter in the region's history, one that would shape its future for centuries to come. East invades West, a new power enters. The Seljuk Turks, fierce warriors from the steppes of Central Asia, stormed into Anatolia. Their arrival changed the course of history, marking the beginning of Turkish dominance in the region. This is the story of their rise, the challenges they faced, and the legacy they left behind, paving the way for the birth of the Ottoman Empire. The Seljuks were not simply raiders, but builders of empires. Emerging from the steppes of Central Asia, they were a formidable force that reshaped the political and cultural landscape of the Middle East. Their journey began as nomadic tribes, but their ambitions and military prowess soon saw them carving out a vast domain. They carved out a vast domain stretching from Persia to Anatolia. This expansion was not just about conquest, it was about establishing a legacy. The Seljuks brought with them a rich cultural heritage, blending their Turkic traditions with the sophisticated Persian culture they encountered. This fusion created a unique and enduring civilization. Their victory at the Battle of Manzikert in 1071 AD was a turning point. This decisive battle against the Byzantine Empire not only showcased their military might, but also marked the beginning of a new era in Anatolia. The Seljuk strategic brilliance and the use of cavalry were key factors in their success. The Byzantine Empire, weakened and fractured, crumbled before the Seljuk onslaught. This defeat had far-reaching consequences, leading to a power vacuum in the region. The once mighty Byzantine strongholds were now vulnerable, and the Seljuks seized this opportunity to expand their influence further. The victory opened the gates for the Turkic tribes to settle in Anatolia. These tribes, with their nomadic roots, brought new dynamics to the region. They established settlements, cultivated the land, and integrated with the local populations, creating a melting pot of cultures and traditions. The Seljuks, masters of organization and administration, established a powerful sultanate in Anatolia. Their governance was marked by a sophisticated administrative system which included the establishment of madrasas, or educational institutions that became centers of learning and culture. They also built impressive architectural structures that stand to this day, laying the groundwork for a new era. The Seljuk legacy in Anatolia is a testament to their vision and capability. They not only conquered lands, but also nurtured a civilization that would influence the region for centuries. Their contributions to art, science, and architecture are still evident, making them one of the most significant empires in history. The Seljuk conquest of Anatolia sparked alarm in Western Europe. This event marked the beginning of a significant period of conflict and transformation. The Seljuks, a powerful and expanding empire, had successfully taken control of vast territories, including the crucial region of Anatolia. This conquest was not just a military victory, but also a cultural and religious shift that threatened the Christian stronghold in the east. The call for the First Crusade echoed through Christendom, resonating deeply within the hearts and minds of the people. Pope Urban II's impassioned plea at the Council of Clermont in 1095 ignited a fervor that spread like wildfire. The promise of spiritual salvation and the allure of reclaiming the Holy Land from Muslim control galvanized thousands to take up the cross and embark on this perilous journey. Aiming to reclaim the Holy Land, the Crusaders set forth on a long and arduous expedition. Their journey was fraught with challenges, from treacherous terrain to hostile encounters. Yet, driven by faith and the promise of eternal glory, they pressed on. The sight of Jerusalem, the ultimate prize, kept their spirits high despite the hardships they faced along the way. The arrival of the Crusaders brought new challenges to the Seljuks. The Seljuk warriors, known for their formidable skills in battle, now faced an equally determined and zealous enemy. The clashes between these two forces were intense and brutal, each side fighting with unwavering conviction. The fortified cities and strategic strongholds became the epicenters of these fierce confrontations. The Crusaders, driven by religious zeal, carved out small states in Anatolia. These newly established territories served as footholds for further expansion and consolidation of power. The construction of castles and fortifications symbolized their intent to maintain a lasting presence in the region. These strongholds not only provided defense but also became centers of administration and control. The Seljuk Sultanate, already facing internal strife, had to contend with these new players in the region. The internal conflicts within the Seljuk ranks further complicated their ability to effectively respond to the Crusader threat. The delicate balance of power within the Sultanate was disrupted, leading to a period of instability and fragmentation. The presence of the Crusaders exacerbated these issues, forcing the Seljuks to adapt and strategize in new ways. The Crusades left a lasting impact, shaping the political landscape of Anatolia. The region, once a stronghold of the Seljuk Empire, now bore the marks of prolonged conflict and cultural exchange. The ruins of ancient fortresses and the remnants of Crusader states stood as silent witnesses to this turbulent era. The legacy of the Crusades influenced the course of history, leaving an indelible mark on the identities and destinies of the civilizations involved. From the east, a new threat emerged: the Mongol Empire. Genghis Khan's descendants, led by Hulagu Khan, unleashed their fury upon the Islamic world. The Mongol invasion in 1243 AD proved catastrophic for the Seljuk Sultanate of Rum. The Seljuk armies, once masters of the battlefield, were no match for the Mongol war machine. The once mighty Seljuk Sultanate fragmented into smaller Turkish beyliks, each vying for power in the aftermath of the Mongol onslaught. Amidst the chaos and fragmentation, a new power arose in Western Anatolia, the Ottomans. This was a time when the once mighty Byzantine Empire was crumbling and the Seljuk Sultanate had lost its grip on the region. The vacuum of power created an opportunity for smaller states and chieftains to rise and assert their dominance. Among these emerging powers was a small beylik, led by a visionary leader named Osman. Osman I, a charismatic and ambitious chieftain, inherited a small beylik from his father Ertugrul. This beylik was modest in size and resources, but Osman possessed a unique blend of leadership qualities and strategic acumen. He was not just a warrior, but also a shrewd diplomat who knew how to forge alliances and navigate the complex political landscape of the time. His vision was not limited to mere survival. He aimed for expansion and greatness. Osman's dream extended far beyond the borders of his small territory. He envisioned a realm that would stretch across continents, a powerful empire that could rival the great civilizations of the past. His ambitions were fueled by a sense of divine destiny, believing that he was chosen to lead his people to glory. This vision was not just a personal dream, but a shared aspiration that inspired his followers. He envisioned a vast and powerful empire that would unite the fragmented Turkish beyliks. To achieve this, Osman knew he needed a loyal and formidable army. He invested in training his warriors, instilling in them a sense of purpose and destiny. His leadership was marked by a combination of tactical brilliance and an ability to inspire unwavering loyalty among his men. The dream of a united empire became a rallying cry that resonated deeply with his followers. His warriors, imbued with a sense of destiny, fought with unmatched zeal, expanding their territory at the expense of the weakening Byzantine Empire. Each victory not only brought more land under Ottoman control, but also boosted the morale and confidence of his troops. The Ottomans' relentless campaigns and strategic conquests laid the foundation for what would become one of the most enduring empires in history. Osman's legacy was not just in the lands he conquered, but in the enduring spirit of unity and ambition he instilled in his people. The Ottoman banner, a symbol of unity and strength. Osman I's leadership proved instrumental in uniting the Turkish tribes under the Ottoman banner. He was not just a warrior, but a shrewd statesman, consolidating his power and establishing a strong foundation for the future Ottoman state. His reign marked the beginning of a dynasty that would go on to rule for over 6 centuries. Legacy of the Seljuks and the rise of the Ottomans. The Seljuk Turks, despite their eventual decline, left an indelible mark on Anatolia. They opened the gates for the Turkification of the region, transforming the cultural and linguistic landscape. Their administrative prowess and patronage of art and architecture laid the groundwork for the Ottomans to build upon. The transformation of Anatolia, a new cultural landscape. The arrival of the Turks heralded a new era in Anatolian history. Turkish language, culture, and traditions took root, gradually replacing the Byzantine Greek influence. The Seljuk and early Ottoman periods witnessed a fusion of cultures as Turkish nomads interacted with the settled populations of Anatolia, leading to a vibrant synthesis of traditions. Towards a modern nation, a glimpse into the future. The rise of the Ottomans from a small beylik to a powerful empire is a testament to their military prowess, political acumen, and adaptability. The story of their rise is one of ambition, struggle, and ultimate triumph. The Ottomans would go on to conquer Constantinople and establish a vast empire spanning 3 continents, leaving an indelible mark on the course of world history.
The 13th century. A new force is sweeping across Anatolia. The Ottoman Turks, warriors of unmatched ambition, are on the move. From humble beginnings, they grow stronger, hungrier for land and power. The world watches, captivated and apprehensive, as this new empire begins to write its story on the stage of history. This is the story of the rise and fall of an empire, a story of conquests and defeats, of sultans and soldiers, of a legacy that continues to shape our world today. Europe at this time was preoccupied with its own affairs. But in the east, a power vacuum existed. The once mighty Byzantine Empire, weakened by internal strife and external pressure, was ripe for the taking. The Ottomans, led by a succession of ambitious sultans, sensed an opportunity. Their armies, disciplined and fiercely loyal, began to chip away at the Byzantine frontiers, conquering cities and expanding their domain. With each victory, the Ottomans grew bolder, their confidence soaring. They were no longer a band of raiders, but a force to be reckoned with. Their eyes set on the ultimate prize, Constantinople, the jewel of the Byzantine Empire, a city that had stood for 1,000 years, a beacon of Christianity in the East. The world held its breath, waiting to see what fate awaited this grand, ancient city as the Ottoman tide surged towards its walls. 1453, a date etched in history. The world watched as Sultan Mehmed II, a ruler of immense ambition and military prowess, laid siege to Constantinople. The Byzantine capital, once thought impregnable, faced an enemy unlike any it had encountered before. Ottoman cannons, the most powerful of the age, thundered day and night, their relentless barrage weakening the city's ancient walls. For 53 days, the defenders of Constantinople held firm, repelling wave after wave of Ottoman attacks. But the defenders were outnumbered, outgunned. The inevitable was only a matter of time. On May 29th, Ottoman forces breached the walls, pouring into the city. Constantinople, the last bastion of the Roman Empire, fell after a millennium of existence. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves across Europe and beyond. It marked the end of an era, the final curtain call for the Byzantine Empire. Yet from the ashes of this ancient power, a new order was rising. Mehmed II, now known as the Conqueror, declared Constantinople the new capital of the Ottoman Empire. He renamed it Istanbul, and so began a new chapter in the city's long and storied history. Istanbul, strategically positioned at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, became the vibrant heart of the Ottoman Empire. Mehmed II, a wise and pragmatic ruler, understood the importance of fostering unity and prosperity in his newly conquered city. He allowed the city's diverse population, Greeks, Armenians, Jews, and others, to maintain their religious and cultural practices. Trade flourished, with caravans and ships from across the known world converging on Istanbul's bustling markets. The city became a melting pot of cultures and ideas, a place where East met West in a vibrant fusion of art, architecture, and commerce. The Hagia Sophia, once the grandest church in Christendom, was transformed into a mosque, its iconic dome now a symbol of Ottoman power. Istanbul's strategic location ensured its continued importance as a key link in the lucrative east-west trade routes. The city thrived as a center for commerce, its harbor bustling with ships laden with spices, silks, and other treasures from the east. The Ottomans, masters of both land and sea, controlled the flow of trade between Europe and Asia, enriching their coffers and solidifying their position as a major world power. The Ottoman Empire reached its zenith under the reign of Suleiman I, known as Suleiman the Magnificent. Ascending to the throne in 1520, Suleiman inherited a vast and powerful empire. A brilliant strategist and a shrewd ruler, he would expand the empire's borders further than ever before, stretching from the gates of Vienna to the Persian Gulf, from the North African coast to the steppes of the Caucasus. Suleiman's reign was not merely about military conquests. He was a keen patron of the arts and sciences, presiding over a golden age of Ottoman culture. Architects, poets, and musicians flocked to his court, creating masterpieces that still inspire awe today. Suleiman himself was a renowned poet, his verses reflecting his deep intellect and his contemplative nature. Under Suleiman's rule, the Ottoman Empire codified its legal system, creating a framework for justice that was centuries ahead of its time. The Ottomans, unlike many of their European counterparts, were known for their religious tolerance, allowing conquered peoples to practice their faiths freely. This tolerance, combined with a strong central government, ensured stability and prosperity throughout the vast empire. The seeds of decline, however, were sown even as the empire basked in the glory of Suleiman's reign. The vastness of the empire, while a testament to Ottoman might, also posed a significant challenge. Maintaining control over such a sprawling domain, with its diverse cultures and languages, proved increasingly difficult. Communication lines, stretched thin, hindered effective governance. The Ottoman bureaucracy, once a model of efficiency, became bogged down by corruption and inefficiency. Viziers and pashas, driven by personal gain, exploited their positions for wealth and power. The once formidable janissaries, the elite infantry corps that had formed the backbone of the Ottoman army, grew complacent and resistant to change. On the Western Front, a resurgent Europe, fueled by the Renaissance and the Age of Exploration, posed a new threat. European powers, eager to establish their own trade routes to the east, began to challenge Ottoman dominance in the Mediterranean. The Ottoman Empire, slow to adapt to the changing geopolitical landscape, found itself increasingly isolated and outmatched. By the 19th century, the Ottoman Empire, once a byword for power and splendor, had earned the unenviable moniker, the sick man of Europe. A series of military defeats at the hands of European powers further exposed the empire's vulnerabilities. Greece, once a part of the Ottoman domain, won its independence in a bloody war of liberation. Other Balkan states followed suit, chipping away at the empire's European possessions. The Ottomans, desperate to modernize and stem the tide of decline, embarked on a series of reforms known as the Tanzimat. These reforms aimed to modernize the army, streamline the bureaucracy, and create a more equitable society. While these reforms had some success, they were ultimately too little, too late. The empire was caught in a vicious cycle of decline, its problems just too deeply entrenched to be easily solved. The Ottoman Empire, once a formidable force that had struck fear into the hearts of European monarchs, was now viewed as a pawn in the great power game. European powers, driven by their own imperial ambitions, carved out spheres of influence within the crumbling empire, further weakening its already fragile structure. The stage was set for a final tragic act in the Ottoman drama. The outbreak of World War I in 1914 proved to be the death knell for the Ottoman Empire. Allied with the Central Powers of Germany and Austria-Hungary, the Ottomans found themselves on the losing side of a global conflict. The war drained the empire's already depleted resources, pushing it to the brink of collapse. The Ottoman army, poorly equipped and outmatched by the modern armies of the Allied powers, suffered a series of catastrophic defeats. The Gallipoli campaign, a disastrous attempt to capture the strategically important Dardanelles Strait, resulted in heavy Ottoman casualties. In the Middle East, British forces, aided by Arab nationalists, dealt further blows to Ottoman power. As the war raged on, the Ottoman government, increasingly authoritarian and desperate to maintain control, carried out the Armenian Genocide, a systematic extermination campaign that resulted in the deaths of an estimated 1.5 million Armenians. This horrific act, a dark stain on the empire's legacy, further isolated the Ottomans from the international community. With the end of World War I, the Ottoman Empire, defeated and exhausted, was officially dissolved. The victorious Allied powers, eager to redraw the map of the Middle East, carved up the empire's remaining territories amongst themselves. But from the ashes of the Ottoman Empire, a new nation-state was about to emerge, led by a charismatic and visionary leader, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. Atatürk, a decorated Ottoman military officer, refused to accept the dismemberment of his homeland. He rallied the Turkish people, igniting a fierce war of independence against the occupying Allied forces. Atatürk's forces, inspired by his leadership and fighting for their very survival, emerged victorious, driving the foreign powers out of Anatolia. In 1923, the Republic of Turkey was proclaimed, with Ankara as its capital. Atatürk, hailed as the father of modern Turkey, embarked on an ambitious program of modernization and secularization. He abolished the Sultanate, disestablished Islam as the state religion, and implemented sweeping social reforms, including granting women the right to vote. Today, Turkey stands as a testament to Atatürk's vision. A vibrant democracy with a thriving economy, Turkey navigates the complex geopolitical landscape of the 21st century, balancing its Islamic heritage with its secular present. The legacy of the Ottoman Empire is still palpable in Turkey, from the magnificent mosques and palaces of Istanbul to the rich tapestry of Turkish culture. Turkey, situated at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, plays a pivotal role in regional and global affairs. As a member of NATO and a candidate for European Union membership, Turkey strives to strengthen ties with the West while also asserting its influence in the Middle East and beyond. The story of the Ottoman Empire is a reminder that even the most powerful empires are not immune to the forces of history. It is a story of ambition and decline, of cultural brilliance and tragic downfall. But above all, it is a story about resilience, about the enduring spirit of a people who, time and again, have risen from the ashes of the past to shape their own destiny.